Good morning. I'm Angela Davis and I'm the Forum Quilter. And today we're going to talk about a pattern that I've been wanting to do since I first started and picked up a needle to put together my first patchwork in 1991. The hexagon, the honeycomb, hexes, six-sided shape, whatever you want to call it. That's the one I've been wanting to do. And it's been on my bucket list for a very long time. And I realized this as I was putting together my scrap bags and working down my scraps. How long am I going to put this off? When I was going through my stash and my scraps, I came across this fabric right here. I've been saving this for about, sorry, I'm getting a shadow. I've been saving this fabric for probably about 20 years. And I've specifically been saving it to make hexagons. With that being said, let me show you some of the fabric that I'm considering. There's that one. Thought that blue really complemented the blue in the flowers. And I like the circles, the geometric circles. So there's that one. Here's a green. And this green sort of has like a brush stroke pattern. Has just a hint of yellow in it. Having a hard time. There, is that better? It's just a hint of yellow in it. I've got two different yellows. I have this one. And these fabrics I'm showing you are everyday modern fabrics. They're not vintage. Or I have this yellow. This one is more gold. Haven't decided yet. And then I have a vintage floral. It picks up the colors within the main fabric here. But red always there, is that better? Red always complements blue and green. And I think the green in the flower and the red really picks up the green in the main focus fabric. I know the red is definitely going in it. It's vintage. So these two are vintage. This one was out of my stash. This one I purchased. Was it a garage sale or a thrift store? Not sure. So those two, definitely the blue and the green. And then one of the yellows, which I'm leaning more toward this one. Sorry about the light. I'm gonna do it. It's time. It's time. So I just wanted to give you a quick little update on that, about my decision. And sometimes it's good to go through your stash and pull things out. Really get down to the nitty-gritty, because you're going to find fabric in there and go, oh, wait, I meant to make this for somebody's daughter's graduation, or somebody was having a new baby. Or you're going to find fabric that you had every intention of starting that project. What would you call it? On your bucket list. And that's hexagons are on my bucket list. And I purposely save this just for my hexagons. My big decision, it is July 2nd, 2024. I've chosen my fabric. So I'm going to start a playlist about my hexagon quilt. I'm back. I've been a little busy. I decided on my fabric and I downloaded a pattern. Let me show it to you. I downloaded two actually of hexagons, and downloaded this one and I downloaded this one. There's a 1/4 inch difference, about a 1/4 inch difference between this one and this one. This one's slightly smaller. I decided to go with this one only because it has a larger line, a thicker line on the outside, so that when I cut, I can see that line very clearly. And you know, the older we get, I don't know about you, but you know, I need that thicker line to cut. I'll save this for the future. I wanted this to be a pretty decent size hexagon only because I want to be able to see this fabric. And this is my main fabric. And I wanted to be able to see a good portion of it. And I also have the one red print. And I thought the larger hexagon, that would give me a chance, an opportunity to really see that print well. Now, I have a hexagon ruler right here that I'm going to use to cut my fabric. So I need 4 inches. I need 4 inches. And what if I fold this like this and I do this? Ha 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 ha. There it is. Okay. I only need a million more of these now. Okay, let me do one more. Okay, I have to line this up here. Right there. But why can't I do it? See if that works. I did it. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is tape this using some painter's tape and get that cut down so that all I have to do is turn it one way, then make a cut, turn it the other way, make a cut, turn it the other way, make a cut. Now, I like how big it is because you can really see the print. It's not so small that I won't be able to see the print. Now, my theory is, and this is what I'm thinking. Ta-da! Whenever I started, believe me, I've tried this in the past. And I've tried doing it the traditional way, doing English paper piecing. And it just, I could never get into the hand part because I just felt as though that was double work. First you have to fold it over and then stitch the seam allowance onto the paper, and then you got to sew the hexagons together. And I just felt like, boy, that was an extra step. I'd get discouraged. And then a year or two later, I would start it again, and I try to do it on my machine, sewing from, I'd mark the points and the lines where the seam lines were, and I tried sewing seam to seam. It would turn out crooked, it would turn out buckled, I'd watch video after video. It just didn't work. So I'm going to try this method. So I'm going to do an X down the middle. There, well, sort of an X. I'm gonna put it on the back of my hexagon, like so. Rub it on there real good. Now I'm gonna put the glue stick around that outer edge and then fold down my seam allowance. So let's see what happens. Doing the corners first, and then I'm just going to go along that edge a little bit. See what happens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, that's pretty. Now my corners have a little, what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna put a little bit of, see that little flap right there? I'm gonna put glue on that. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna do a quick press. I'm lowering my iron to a low setting. Okay, that was fast. I like that. I really like that. Let's do this one while my iron cools down. Okay, so I'm gonna do an X down the middle. Place it right on there. Okay, now I'm going to do each of the corners just a little bit. And now I'm going to do the edge of the paper. I'm going to start on one side. There's one fold. Start on the second side. There's the second fold. Here's the third fold. Here's the fourth fold, the fifth fold, and the sixth fold. Now, any of these corners that are sticking up, just gonna add a little bit of extra glue under that fold so they stick. Now I'm going to take it over to the iron and do a dry iron. Let's see what happens. Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's a lot faster than me sewing those edges down. Lovely. And look, I have a little basket that I can put these in as I'm working on them. And then I can decide if I'm going to, I wouldn't be doing these colors, but then I can decide if I'm going to hand stitch or machine stitch a little zigzag. Look how you don't know how excited I am. There I go. Yay. Okay, now let me show you some vintage patterns of hexagons. Because you know how I am about my vintage patterns, right? Glorious American Quilts. I've showed this one to you before. It's a quilt collection of the Museum of American Folk Art. So, okay, they are calling this a honeycomb. Okay, can you see that? This is quilt maker unidentified, United States or England, 1835 to 1845 cotton, 98.5 inches by 75. Beautiful. Okay. These two I'm going to show you are there's three. There's actually three in this photo. Can you see them? And they give you the pattern to make a small hexagon quilt or a larger hexagon quilt. And I'm going to measure those for you because I'm curious. Okay, the small one is less than an inch on one side. Really? I don't know if I can can do that. The other one is about 1.25 inches along one edge. So that tells you how small those hexagons are. I'm not doing that. I'm doing 4 inches across because I'm Angela. Okay, so I'm really excited about starting this project and sharing it with all of you. I think with your encouragement and with my fast technique, Elmer's washable glue stick, I think I can make this happen. I think I'm gonna scratch this one off my bucket list. Because let's face it, in this life we only have today. So, enjoy the video? No? Yes? Give it a thumbs up. It helps with the algorithm so that it will get promoted more so that other people out there can watch the video. And I'm going to start a playlist for the hexagon quilt. This is video 1. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you learned something. Washable glue stick. It's working. You saw me do it, and then I just used a dry iron to press it down. Now all I have to do is either hand piece them, decide what orientation I want the colors to be. I could take them to work on my lunch break, or I can sit on my sewing machine and do a little tiny zigzag. Or maybe I'll do both. I don't know. Hey, thanks so much for joining me. You have a great night. My name's Angela Davis. I'm the 4am Quilter. And remember, why sleep when you can sew? Thanks so much for joining me.